Hello, Happy New Year. It is currently today, January 2nd, so a new year, and I've been just reflecting on the last year and just enjoying some more quiet time over the holidays and some restful days. Today I've got some laundry to do, so I'm going to do some folding and share what's been on my mind lately, just fun things like what I've been up to, what I've been thinking about. Like if you were to come over to my house today and just hang out and we were friends, because I think we are friends, this is what I would tell you, what I've been up to. And then at the end, or towards the end of the video, I want to share my part 3 of what helped me for managing, or just what helped me with toddler tantrums, the really hard stage that we went through. And I know that we'll continue to have hard stages, but kind of like a light bulb moment that was really helpful for me. So lots of things, and of course I've got notes per usual. I've got dogs around me per usual. One I had to kick off because she was in my way. I needed some room, and now she's pouting. So we have one girl dog and the other 2 were boys, and the girl dog definitely is the most sensitive in the house, which is funny. So anyways, so let me tell you what I've been up to. So I had a couple weeks off of work, which was really, really nice, super lovely. It's just been nice to like have time to just sit or be in the kitchen all day cooking. One day I made like 3 pot pies, so I have some in the freezer for a couple other meals, so that's great. I feel like I truly enjoy now like making really good nourishing food for my family. I feel like I've always really enjoyed that, but it's just, I'm always thinking about how I don't have enough time to do all this, never enough time. And I think I've gotten a lot better at my mindset on that lately. And anyways, it's been nice though to just have lots of time to do all of that. So I've been making some sourdough bread. Not really bread, I guess, but I've been making some cinnamon rolls. I made some and took them to our neighbors. I have never really done that before, and I feel like I talked to a few people that were like, I'm taking some baked goods, or I found some things, I'm delivering gifts to neighbors or clients or friends, and I was like, I should do that. So I felt inspired this year, and I made some of my sourdough cinnamon rolls, which are my favorite. They're so good, the best cinnamon rolls I've had. I'm probably biased, but they're so good. And I took some to our neighbors, so that was fun. And we don't really know a whole lot of our neighbors, so I felt like it was a good thing for me to do, I felt like, and try to get to know people. But there's some people that live across the street from us, because we're on a corner, and so the people that live across the street on the other corner, I have always felt guilty, because I feel like when people move in, you should go and introduce yourself and like do something nice, and I never did. And so I was like, this will be great. I will go say hi, take them some cinnamon rolls, and be like, I'm sorry, never introduced ourselves, but this is us. We're probably a lot anyways, so you probably don't really want to know us that well. No. But I was super bummed, because I really wanted to take some over to them and just, like I said, introduce ourselves. And I'm not kidding, 2 times I went over there, I started walking over there, and they were like backing out of their driveway. And it made it so awkward, because I was just with my son, and so we're just walking over there in broad daylight, with these cinnamon rolls. And then I see them backing out, and I'm like, I don't know what to do now. Like, I can't flag you down and be like, what are you doing? So we just turned around went back home, and I was like, I'll just try again later. We did it again later that night. Exact same thing happened. I'm not even kidding. I'm really bummed. I'm still upset about that, because they obviously saw us standing there in the middle. Like, we were kind of like starting to cross the street, and then I kind of like turned around, because I didn't know what else to do. So they obviously saw us, and they were like, that's weird, not sure what you guys are doing. Then they saw us again doing the same thing later, so now they probably think someone's out to get them, and I was just trying to give them some cinnamon rolls. So ridiculous. I gave up and I came home and I was like, okay, apparently I wasn't meant to do that because I'm not doing that for a third time. Maybe I'll try next year. They'll probably forget by next year. Or maybe you have an idea of something I could do mid-year, something in the spring. Oh, ridiculous. And then I feel bad because a couple houses we went to have dogs, and I totally understand the pain of when people come over, you know, and you don't expect them. And my dogs just go nuts and are everywhere. I always appreciate a heads up just so I can like throw them outside for a second. And so I felt bad because I was like, I know you're probably annoyed. I just wanted to drop these off and say hi and Merry Christmas. So everyone was super nice and appreciative, and I think they loved it. I was just like, I know, I feel the pain with the dogs. So you gotta love them though, right? So that is what I've been up to. Lots of cooking, lots of baking, and lots of reflecting on the year. I feel like I notice more than ever before. Maybe it's just because of Luke, but I've noticed that the time just flies. Like, I do not even know where the time goes. And I know, you know, we all say time flies. And I think it's just making me, probably because I'm just getting older, but it's making me even more sad as I'm noticing that like Luke is almost 2 now, and like it makes me want to savor the days as much as possible and just be really intentional. And that's something I kind of started thinking about and trying to get better at last year. It was just like being more intentional with my time and not just like letting the days fly by, you know, because it happens. I know it's gonna happen, but I feel like there's ways to kind of just try to slow down. I hate feeling like rushed all the time, and our days are really busy. You know, I'm working a full-time job and watching Luke, so the days do feel very busy and very like there's a lot we're doing in the day. But I also feel like the way you think about it is really, it can be make it really hard and make it really like stressful and like feeling like you never have enough time to get things done. Or you can think about it and maybe try some different things or have some strategies, but also I feel like time is gonna just keep getting faster, and things are just gonna keep getting busier. You know, I've really come to the conclusion that things aren't really gonna slow down, which was definitely a character flaw I think I used to have, was just always like rushing and rushing because I was like, once I achieve this, then it will slow down. And I've realized that that's not how it works. and you spend so much time, maybe not wasted, but you spend so much time just feeling rushed and like looking forward to that goal that you forget to enjoy the process, you know? So that's something that I've just really worked on, and I'm looking forward to just continuing to get better at that. And I just started this new book. I'm thinking of maybe trying one book a month. We'll see how that goes. I don't want to like try and cram a bunch of books in a year. I don't like that. I don't like feeling rushed. I don't want to be rushed. I want things to slow down. So maybe I'll do a book every 2 months. We'll see how I feel. But I just started this Habits of the Household, and I just love how the author was talking about how our habits kind of become our life, like whether we're intentional with it or not. Sometimes we just start doing things, and that whatever we start doing, I can't talk. Whatever we start doing, it becomes a habit. We just do it every day, whether we want it to be like that or not. I was loving how in this book he was talking about how, like, let's say a lot of us have, similar goals of, like, let's say with parenting, we want to be more patient, we want to be more intentional, more present, but it's just super easy to keep doing the same thing over and over. Like, let's say you have at nighttime, every night ends in just like a chaos. I know nighttime can get kind of crazy. And you want to be more patient at nighttime. You have to like really actively work and find ways to kind of change that habit, because it's really, our brain likes habits, and it's going to continue to just fall into the same routine that we've been doing every single day. And so this is saying how good or bad a rut is a rut. Our brains love ruts. And you can't think yourself out of a pattern that you didn't even think yourself into. It just kind of started happening. You practice yourself into it, so you have to practice your way out of it. So yeah, I am excited to read some more about that and just be more intentional. I've been really trying to time block this year, 2 days in. I got this new planner that I'm super excited about, and it's been great. And I realized that the planner, if I think about it as I have to be perfect, I'm not gonna be able to get everything done on there. I'm gonna feel like a failure, and it's not gonna be successful at all. And so I started it on Monday. That was the first day that the planner started. So started Monday this week, and I have been doing such a good job of like, I didn't check everything off, but I did a couple things. I'm giving myself like 20 minutes to clean, whereas before I would be like, okay, I tidied the kitchen, now I'm done, not doing anything more. I wasn't very good at keeping up with all of our house chores, and I want to get better about that, but I know that I don't have a whole lot of time. So I love that I'm just trying to give myself a certain chunk of time. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start my timer for 20 minutes. Whatever I get done in 20 minutes is done. I can check that I did clean for 20 minutes today, and whatever I didn't get to, I'll do the next day. Or maybe I can't do that this week, and that's or I can't do that today or this week, and that's okay. So I just am really proud of my mindset shifting to like not being so focused on everything needs to be perfect. I don't need to like hit the target exactly. I just need to be going in the more accurate direction, you know? Is it that book? I think it's the book Atomic Habits, where it talks about how when you're flying, if you change the degree, like 1 degree, so you shift your plane 1 degree, you're gonna end up in a completely different location. So it seems like not much, but it will make a huge difference. And so even me doing like 20 minutes to clean 5 or 6 days out of the week is more than I was doing, you know, like on top of the normal, like keeping the good, you know, doing dishes, laundry, all those things, just trying to do a little bit more, like cleaning baseboards or wiping down the walls. Like I really have not done a good job of keeping up on that stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for the new year. I've told you what I'm doing. Now you tell me what's something you are looking forward to next year, or maybe you're planning. I was doing this like reflection from last year and plans for next year, and one question was, what are some memories you want your family to have in 2025? And I was like, whoa, I've never thought about that before. We are in charge. I say that loosely because we're not really in charge, but you know, we're in charge of helping create those memories for our families and our kids. So I just hadn't thought about that before, and I was like, wow, yeah, I should plan something. And I'm not even thinking about a trip. I'm just thinking about something I can try to change in our family dynamics to create more memories. So tell me what's something that you're trying to do for the next year. Okay, let me dive into part 3 of managing toddler tantrums and just what helped me. And this was the realization that it's supposed to be hard. And maybe this is like too simple for you, but it was like a big light bulb moment for me. And I think the reason it was such a big light bulb moment was because I had spent so many days being like, why is this so hard? And telling myself it shouldn't be this hard. And in case you have missed my other parts, I just wanted to throw out there that my heart behind doing this little series is that we just had a really hard season. And I feel like when Luke was a newborn and like the newborn stage was really, I loved it. It was great. He was a really easy baby. And then things got really hard, and I was like, what is happening? And and I know that, you know, I feel like with every stage or every month, because things are always changing, there's some hard things and some easier things, and then they flip-flop. And then we would have some really hard days, But then we just had this season of like months, almost a year straight of just like, it's been a hard day. It's been a hard day. And I realized that, yeah, there's some practical things that you can do, but I think a lot of it too is our mindset and how we think about things and the thoughts we have. And so that's why a lot of this series has been focused on our mindset and how we think about things, because I think that's the biggest thing that's going to help, because there's going to be tantrums, there's going to be hard, I think that we expect that. And I think that there's a way to look at it that can still bring you more joy during that season. So that's my heart behind it. And anyways, going back to what this light bulb moment is, that I feel like I was kind of pulling the victim card a lot of like, God, why are you doing this to me? Why has it been so freaking hard? I'm pretty good about finding the positive of things, even if there's a hard season. I try super hard to find what God is trying to teach me, and I was like, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. And I think I was just upset because I was like, I know that this is supposed to be hard, but I also feel like it shouldn't be this hard for this long, or I don't know, I would always just find ways to justify my reasoning of like, this is not fair, and almost like I'm just the victim here. And so when I was reading about that in this book, Hard is Not the Same Thing as Bad, I was like, oh, this is all making sense. I realized that there was a piece of the conversation that's missing. You know how when I didn't have Luke, I just remember listening to other moms talk about how hard it was being a parent. And I was like, I don't want to sign up for that. Like, that sounds really difficult. No, thank you. And I think the piece that's missing in those conversations is like the extra layer of talking about how, yes, it's really hard, and that's also so good for us and the biggest blessing we could ever ask for. And I think I was so focused on when you're raising a kid so much, I was thinking like, I'm going to be teaching him, I'm going to be guiding him, when in reality I think a lot of it is kind of the opposite. He's teaching me so much, and I think God's teaching me a lot through him, and I just didn't realize that. I was like, I know that I'm going to change through all this process, but I didn't think about how these kids are a blessing and how much joy and laughter and like endless giggles they bring us. But that's not just the only reason they're a blessing, because they call us to like level up in our humanity and our spirituality. They literally bless this world with their presence and just calling us to be better humans. And so I think that that's an incredible opportunity that we get. And what was that, like a piece of dust? I just saw that. Sorry, that threw me off, because I have been trying to get, like I said, I've been trying to be a better homemaker and like dusting a lot more. And so I've been on the hunt to get rid of all the dust in the house, and I just saw something. I was like, what is that? Okay. But yeah, so I think that we're better for it, and that was the biggest realization. I was like, it's supposed to be hard. I don't need to keep questioning why is this hard, because that's the whole point. It's supposed to be hard. They bless us in a lot of ways, and one way is it's a challenge, and it's a challenge for good reason. So even though that's hard to hear in the moment, I hope that brings you some more hope or more joy in this season. I want to end on this note. I just finished this book a couple nights ago, the same book I said earlier, Hard Is Not the Same Thing as Bad. And let me just read you this ending part, because I thought it was great. I thought it was really wonderful. All right, being a mother is hard. Anyone who says otherwise is living in a fantasy world. But it's equally as fanciful to insist that just because something is hard, we should avoid it or despise it. and it's even more unrealistic to assume that something as rich in investment and reward as raising children should be easy. 1 Peter 4:12-13 says, "Beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery trial when it comes upon you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. But rejoice insofar as you share Christ's sufferings, that you may also rejoice and be glad when his glory is revealed." No hardship we encounter in motherhood can compare to the excruciating pain and isolation of the cross, but every time we choose to lean into a challenge, whether merely distasteful or soul-crushing, we are privileged to share a tiny portion of Christ's sufferings and his glory. It is both this privilege and this glory that spur us to press on toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. I may not ever encounter a phase of motherhood that feels completely effortless. At this point, I hope I don't. I enjoy and praise God for the easier seasons just as much as the next girl, but I learn from and become more Christ-like because of the hard ones, so I refuse to wish them away. Maybe you feel the same, so I'll leave you with this little benediction. May the God of peace fill every mother's heart with assurance in the knowledge that she has carried Jesus' easy yoke and light burden well as her head droops with exhaustion on her pillow each night. May his joy flood our spirits with gratitude for the children who leave marks of our deep mother's love for them on our bodies and souls. And may Christ's sacrifice for our sins ever and always be the ultimate reminder that hard is not the same thing as bad. Amen. I thought that was great. I thought that would be a great way to send you off into the day, and I hope that was helpful. And if you are having a hard season, tell me how I can pray for you in the comments, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.